President Biden responds to news of a Russian opposition leader's death while urging Congress to pass funding for Ukraine. What the White House says is at stake. Plus, we'll show you how a local high school is celebrating Kindness Week.
And temperatures are set to plummet overnight. Those details on the way as Mountain News First at 4 continues.
Mountain News First at 4 continues.
Some wintry weather could be moving through the region this evening, but how much snow can we expect? Let's check in with First Alert meteorologist Cameron Aaron for the latest. Cameron?
Yeah, Steve, we are not expecting those big, huge impacts from this system, but we could see some minor accumulation, also some slick spots as we go through late Friday, also for the first half of your weekend. Right now, though, we are tracking some light to moderate rain showers on First Alert Pinpoint Doppler, zooming into portions of Pulaski, Rockcastle, Jackson counties, also pushing into Estill, Powell, Wolf, Menifee, and Morgan counties at this hour. No wintry weather just yet, but we are tracking some spotty showers at this hour, especially close to the Mountain Parkway. Here's a live look from Slade. That current temperature up to 45 degrees, so we are well above freezing for now, but that cooler weather is not too far away. Up to 46 in Irvine, 49 for Jackson, 47 for Pikeville, and 54 over in London at this hour. But notice as we zoom out, we are tracking some more light to moderate to even heavy snow showers in Illinois, Indiana, also Ohio, and that will continue pushing off to the south as we go through this evening. Also tonight, that changeover happens sooner close to I-64 as early as sunset, and that will continue pushing off to the south as we go through late Friday. Also early into your Saturday happens later close to the Kentucky, Tennessee, and Virginia borders. But again, we are watching out for the potential for some minor accumulation, also some slick spots. More details on that winter weather threat coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
Well, Cameron, thank you. Some Kentuckians say they are ready for another snow event, with crews in Scott County already prepared to tackle the snow tonight. WYMT's Phil Pendleton spoke to drivers about the snow on its way.
Keeping a close eye on the weather is something that a lot of people do this time of the year, and the possibility of a little bit more snow has the tendency to have some people on edge. But people that we spoke with today say they are ready for another winter weather event.
Another couple inches of snow. It's well, it is a little chilly today, but it's been really nice last few days, so I don't know. It just seems kind of odd.
Odd or not, snow was in the forecast Friday night, and while the weekend means resting for some, for others it could be busy. Scott County road crews were preparing to tackle about 300 miles of roads, and they were planning to get out just as soon as the snow started to fall.
Overall, the trucks this morning, last couple of days, we've made sure everything's in good working order, everything full of fuel.
And with this weather event not expected to impact everyone the same, in some parts of the state, road crews are simply on standby. I spoke to some in southern Kentucky who told me that they are simply keeping an eye on things, and people will be ready to come in if need be. Scott County, Phil Pendleton, now back to you.
All right, Phil, thank you. Now to a huge international story today. Vladimir Putin's biggest political opponent has died in a Russian prison. U.S. officials are calling Alexi Navalny's death suspicious. CBS's Natalie Brand has more from the White House.
Thank you so much.
Yulia Navalny, the wife of opposition leader Alexi Navalny, spoke about the reports of her husband's death, saying Russian President Vladimir Putin will bear the responsibility for what he did to her country and her family. She made her comments before world leaders at the annual Munich Security Conference, where Vice President Kamala Harris offered her condolences.
This is, of course, terrible news, which we are working to confirm.
Russia says the 47-year-old opposition leader died after taking a walk at the prison where he's been detained on extremism charges that Navalny says were politically motivated. He appeared in a video in court the day before and seemed to be in good health.
Sir, first, was this an assassination?
We don't know exactly what happened, but there is no doubt that the death of Navalny was a consequence of something that Putin and his thugs did.
President Biden offered prayers for Navalny's family, but stressed the urgency of more support for Ukraine. An aid package passed by the Senate this week, but the House left town for a 2-week recess without taking action.
This is bizarre. And it's just reinforcing all the concern and almost, I won't say panic, but real concern about the United States being a reliable ally.
Meanwhile, the Biden administration confirmed this week that Russia is developing a space-based weapon to target satellites.
Could theoretically do something that was damaging. Hadn't happened yet, and my hope is it will not.
This comes a month before Russia's presidential election. Putin is almost guaranteed to win another 6-year term. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
House Speaker Mike Johnson has hinted he may not bring the funding bill for Ukraine and Israel to the floor for a House vote. President Biden is headed to East Palestine, Ohio today, 1 year after that disastrous train derailment. He arrived in Pittsburgh a short time ago. The train that came off the tracks last February was carrying more than 1 million pounds of toxic chemicals that seeped into the town's soil, water, and air. President Biden has been heavily criticized for not visiting the site of the ecological catastrophe sooner. Today, he will be visiting residents and talking about the progress he's made to hold Norfolk Southern accountable. Taylor Swift has donated $100,000 to the family of the woman who was killed at the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl victory parade. Swift made the donation to the family's GoFundMe with a note that said, quote, "Sending my deepest sympathies and condolences in the wake of your devastating loss." Lisa Lopez Galvin was a beloved DJ in Kansas City. She was at the parade celebrating the Chiefs' victory with her husband and children when she was fatally shot. 22 others, including several children, were injured. Kindness is free to give, but not always easily received. So this week, Hazard High School students and staff are celebrating Kindness Week, aiming to make a change in the hallways of their school. Hazard senior Casey Brewer says she hopes this makes a ripple effect into the community and beyond.
I think sometimes people think that to be kind, it has to be something extravagant and really big, and it doesn't. It can just be doing something nice, saying something nice to somebody that you see in passing, and you never know how much that's going to impact somebody's day or even life. So just being more intentional about being kind to people you see.
This week, several acts of kindness also spread throughout the school. Students made Valentines for teachers at the school and even brought in donations to deliver to the local nursing home residents. A Kentucky school bus driver made a first grader's day with an act of kindness. Madison Elliott has that heartwarming story out of Louisville.
If there's one thing 6-year-old Levi Carrier loves, it's Spider-Man.
Yeah, he can like climb on walls.
In fact, when he gets on the bus every day to go to Englehart Elementary, he and his bus driver, Larry Farish, give each other the Spider-Man sign.
Yeah, this is our thing.
But last Friday, Larry noticed Levi got on the bus without doing this, and he could tell something was wrong.
I asked him, I was like, what's going on? What happened? I'm thinking something may have happened on the bus stop. And he simply looked up and said, I don't have pajamas.
It was pajama day at school. Levi was sad he didn't have any to wear. So after Larry dropped off the kids, he went to the store and bought a pair of pajamas for Levi and took them to school.
And I said, well, this morning you were crying, and I felt it. So I want your day to be a little bit better. And I asked him, I said, would you try the pajamas on when you get to class and have a great day?
When Levi left his classroom and walked down the hall to see his bus driver Larry standing there with a pair of pajamas, he says it was complete shock.
My face was like this.
Levi says those sad tears turned into happy tears.
Yep. And a great Friday.
Do you still have the pajamas now that Larry gave you?
Yeah.
Do you wear them?
Yeah.
Larry says this act of kindness shows the important role bus drivers play in students' lives.
A lot of times we're the first person after their parents leave that they see, and we're the last person they see before they go home. So we can make a big difference in a child's life just by saying good morning.
It's an act of kindness Levi will always remember, and he wants people to know how great his bus driver is.
That he's kind and that his heart is filled with joy.
Well, coming up on First at 4, millions of Americans are feeling financial burdens associated with student loan debt. We'll have some tips for anyone who might be struggling.
Plus, we are tracking this rain-snow line close to the Ohio River, timing out those snow showers after this break.